can have a goal or a desire or a plan, but it requires some work.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are back. Oh my God, the part one of this conversation was absolutely incredible. Listen, if you have been following me on YouTube or on social media for the last couple of months, you have been absolutely given some of the best tidbits of wisdom for your life that should help get you on track. My passion is to give people wisdom. My passion is to help inspire people on how to take the information and the knowledge that they have, and then how to figure out how to apply it in various circumstances, situations of their life. And so you know by now probably that I have been talking about this book, Temporary Assignments. It has been an amazing journey. And let me just take a moment really fast and just say thank you to everybody that have offered feedback, have offered comments. Thank you for purchasing the book, getting the book, selling the book. I even had one lady who left her book on a Southwest flight. She was on her way to to Colorado, left her book on a flight, and she said that she had already started highlighting and writing in the book on the flight, and she got so sucked into the content and the wisdom and the inspiration from the book that she was distraught for at least a week until she got her new copy. So she went, bought a new copy, and all is right with the world now that she's got her copy of Temporary Assignments. So I want to invite you, go get the book, because there's so much insight and wisdom. It is wisdom for reinventing your life and pursuing your purpose. And so we've been talking about it from a career standpoint, life standpoint, entrepreneurs, business leaders, church leaders, pastors, parents, all of that. And today I am in part two of this conversation with a great friend of mine, Emmy. Welcome back, Emmy. Glad to have you on today again.
Glad to be back.
Yeah. So part one was incredible. You gave us a new book in part one. So thank you for all of that. And I got a page full of notes here, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get this party started again. Listen, for those of you that are watching this part two of this conversation, I'm not going to try to rehash all of part one. You're going to have to go watch part one on my YouTube page, and I'll tweet it out, and we'll Facebook it out and all that stuff. And Emmy will put it on her platforms and all that. But as we pick up this conversation again, it's so incredible to hear, because I think sometimes when we start talking about fitness and we start talking about health, and I'm going to be transparent here and say that I think for the average person, and even where I was at one point, that I just didn't feel like it was attainable for me, nor did I feel like it even mattered, right? And so then when I hear somebody like you get on here and you say, well, your parents were into sports, and then they got you and your siblings into sports, and you were always in it, and you were healthy, and they talked about health. It's actually, and this is going to sound really bad, Emmy. It's going to sound really, really bad. So here's my disclaimer. I'll just give you my disclaimer. But it feels comforting to know that even someone like you that was raised in this environment, you had a season where you fell off, where you were human, where you were sluggish, you didn't eat great, you didn't work out, but then you got back on track. So let's pick up there, and let's talk about where do people start? You know, if a person, you know, has this epiphany, or at some point where they say, you know what, man, I need to get my health together. You know, where do they even start? What's the starting point?
I'd say the starting point really would be sitting down and seeing why. Why do I need to lose weight? Or why do I want to lose weight? Or why do I want to be healthier? Why do I need to be healthier? So the why is extremely, extremely important. What are your motivations? The intrinsic, meaning they come from within. What are your intrinsic motivations? And I talked about extrinsic motivations. What are your outside motivations, right? And then there's, goals. There's health goals. There's a need for fitness, and there's the want. There's the aesthetic, somebody that's like, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds. And I don't knock somebody that wants to lose 5-10 pounds. And I don't knock somebody that wants to increase their strength or increase their cardiovascular capacity. Whatever your goal is, that is your goal. And you run with it. Now that you have your goal in place, what are the steps? How much do you know yourself about this particular subject? Let's say it is a health goal. It's a must. let's say your doctor said, you need to do this. Okay, that's different than, hey, I need to lose 5 pounds because I want to, right? Now it's a need. Okay, what do I know about this change? I don't know that, that much. I'm uncomfortable in the gym. I don't know much about the food side. Seek somebody out. Do you know somebody who has succeeded in this, or do you need a trainer? And it's very important to get a trainer that you mesh with. Don't go with the first person that you see, because it may not be that person for you, and they may be an amazing trainer, but it just may not motivate you, and it may not be the right kind of setting for you. So try out a few different trainers.
Let me ask this, Emmy. So if I'm the average Joe, the average whatever person, what do you say to me if I say to you, I don't have a budget for a trainer? I don't know how much trainers would cost, or, whatever, because, first of all, the fact that I just had to pay a deposit and all of that to get my gym membership, now you're saying I need a trainer. So what's realistic, and what is additional options beyond just getting a trainer that could get me on track?
Doing your research. We all have a cell phone. We all have the internet, or access to the internet, or access to these modalities, but it's important on what we're looking up.
Come on, modalities. Use that big word.
Oh, sorry. Modalities. We use it a lot in fitness, just different modalities. We use that term all the time. So now it's second nature to me. But, we Google a lot of things. Think about all the things that you look up, the funny things that you look up, Facebook, finding a community. There's definitely communities out there, finding blogs, but again, just taking things with a grain of salt. What are you reading? What is this person's certifications? What is this person's background? Don't just take everything for face value, because it's not necessarily true. It's the harder direction, but because, the budget is there, you're going to have to work a little bit harder at that. I need to find what is my spot. Is it maybe one group class? Start with that. Maybe you'll meet some friends through there. Group class is a lot more affordable than a personal trainer. The other side of things is a personal trainer that is willing to travel to you. For example, I do in-home training. Very rarely do we go into a gym that a client's already a part of, and that we work out there. I actually go to clients. I have clients that I train outside. I have clients that I train inside their home. We move around some furniture and we make it work. That could also be an option, because that takes away that cost of having to join a gym. But again, look at your options. Find a budget that works for you. And if that budget is nothing, use social media, use the internet, but be very mindful at what you're looking at. Just take it with a grain of salt at first. Do your research. Take the time to do your research. This is investing in your health. It's worth that extra step. And not just taking like, oh, I see this fitness model and she just eats, this is her snack and I should just eat this snack. No, why is she eating it? Is she putting some background to it? What's the reasoning for it? Ask questions. There's certain, even on social media, if someone approached me and direct messaged me even and asked me for some tips, I would love that. And I do love that. And I would answer back in a timely manner, and just using that. And I mean, that doesn't cost you anything. It gives you that option to just ask. Just ask.
It's interesting that you would say that, because I was actually just going to say that, I have found over the past few years on how helpful and open people are to questions and all of that. So, I'm in the gym and I see somebody doing a new workout. Beforehand, I used to be, sort of a little, not scared, but intimidated, if you would, or a little apprehensive about, hey, excuse me, tell me why you did that particular, set, or how often do you do that set, or, how do you work that into your workout? And then I started realizing that actually when I look around the gym, I'm seeing lots of people engage in this or that, or tweaking this or tweaking that. I would see guys that are, in between sets, they're actually on YouTube looking at how to work that particular set that they were doing. Or if I go to the fitness store, the people in the fitness store ask, they are open to you asking those questions. So I think, what I hear you saying is when you find your why will actually keep your passion going.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, because so for me, I'm hearing myself as you talk about this process, and I'm thinking about the common person. If you don't have a why, you're actually going to give up quicker, because you're sitting there, you're under those weights, or you're on that Stairmaster, or you're on that elliptical, and man, you're sitting there like, why am I doing this? Like, there's no point in this. You just okay. So side note for a second. Emmy, tell me why they advertise bad food at the gyms.
Because they know they're going to get you. And that is some smart advertising, because people at the gym, obviously they're at the gym, they're looking for their health, but they want to be your one cheat. They want, just get that. It's so bad. Don't do it.
So there's this place here that has these amazing chicken tenders, and they have this box where it's the chicken tenders, the sauce, the fries, and then they put a little celery and carrots on it, right?
Makes you feel better, right?
Well, yeah, but they advertise like repeatedly in the gym. So you're sitting there and you're sweating, and then you look up at this and you're like, at least in my mind, I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but that actually leads me to something else, which is that allow yourself, if you love chicken tenders, have some chicken tenders. I'm serious.
Really?
Feeding, and I'm not saying, so, okay, if you love chicken tenders, don't eat chicken tenders every single day, because everybody knows that isn't healthy. However, it's a treat. Do you treat yourself? You've been working really hard. Do you go away for the weekend and take a vacation to treat yourself? You do. Do you, for anything else, for us women, do we go and get our nails done once in a while to treat ourselves? We do.
Hey, wait a minute now. The fellas need to get the pedicures. The fellas need to get the pedicures.
Yes.
Because I've seen guys in the mall with the flip-flops on, and I'm like, brother, you need some socks on.
Just a pedicure, all right? Well, they need to make those salons a little bit more inviting to men, okay?
They do. They really do.
The flowers and the frilly stuff, men are just like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But no, it's allow yourself that treat. It is food for the soul, food for the mind. I swear, after a good meal, something that I've been actually looking forward to. Let's say you've been in that gym staring at those chicken tenders all week, and you finally on Friday or Saturday decide to have some chicken tenders. You're like, yes, thank you. Now you're going back into the gym, you see those chicken tenders, you're like, yeah, those were good anyways, right? You're not still staring at those chicken tenders being like, I can't have them, but I want to eat them so bad. And then all of a sudden now you're just going to have chicken tenders all week because you've deprived yourself for like a whole month without chicken tenders.
Yeah.
I'm using that as a specific, but that was one of the biggest obstacles that I overcame, was allowing myself to enjoy my food again. To just, okay, so I had 15 chicken tenders, that's fine. And that may be an exaggeration, but for me, I've surprised people with how much I can eat.
Yeah.
But no, it's allow yourself to have that. Moving on, next day, new day, or next meal is a new meal. Just forget about it. We dwell on it, that we messed it up, that we screwed it up. One meal's not going to make you more fit and more healthy. Just like, one meal's not going to ruin it for you either.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, and I want to be a little spiritual here for a moment, and say it this way. It sounds like you're saying that we are the masters, not the food.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think that's very
involved.
important. Yeah, because beforehand, before I was even aware of and thinking about health, I think food was my master. It was the thing that there was no portion control. There was no thought about, okay, you really just ate 2,000 calories worth of breakfast. Now you're going to eat 5,000 calories worth of lunch, and now you're going to eat another 3,000 calories worth of dinner. Like, where's the balance in there? So there was no intentionality at all. So let's talk a little bit about this notion, and you alluded to this a little bit in part one about habits and about listening to your body. What does that look like for the average person when we say listen to your body?
Listening to your body is so important. Knowing the difference between, for example, I see a lot of people at the gym knowing the difference between a good sore and a bad sore. So a good sore is that muscle ache after a good workout, but the next day it doesn't have you bedridden, right? So you want to get that good workout and
see that right there?
Yeah.
That's a good sore.
Oh, see, that's a good sore, but it's not taken away from your day. You go about your day the same as you would.
Yeah.
Now let's say you come back to the gym 3 days later, literally, let's say something happened at work or in your personal life and you're drained and your body is hurting and you just push this workout in. The more you push your body in that negative way where you're just overdoing it, allow yourself to rest. Listen to your body. Take that day off. Now, if your body tells you to not work out for 3 months, you should stop listening to your body. But you know what I mean? You've got to find that happy medium. I always talk about a happy medium. You need balance. Yeah. You need your life, your personal life, things that make you happy. And then you got to be happy working out too. If you make it a chore, you're going to rebel against it.
Yeah.
If you make it like, oh, I got to work out. No, want it. When I haven't worked out, let's say I give myself even 2-3 days of rest because my body I just can't right now. I've been working from 6 a.m. in the morning. My last client was at 8 p.m. I just can't do it. And I don't want to say I can't do it, but that's what my body is telling me right now. After 3 days of not working out, I'm just itching to go into the gym. Literally, your body, it comes from within, and you're like, I need to move. I feel stiff. I don't feel how I used to before. Listen to your body. It will tell you. Just like listen to your body. Are you full? Are you thirsty? Or are you hungry? There's a difference. Chug a glass of water, then sit on it for a second. See how you feel. Are you hungry? Or like myself, are you just bored sitting in front of the TV and you just don't kind of know what to do, or you just don't feel comfortable just sitting there? You need to either do something. When you get that, my biggest kind of little hack for that is literally go for a walk. Wow. I have a dog. She is my savior sometimes. I may either walk to the fridge or the pantry, or I can just take myself outside for 15 minutes. I come back, I'm not hungry actually. It turns out I really wasn't hungry. I had nothing else to do at that particular moment, right? So
wow. Let me ask this. So one of the things that was really frustrating to me, and still sort of is the amount of what a novice like me, I'm not, you're a personal trainer, so you're studying this stuff. You're in school for medical exercise specialist degree, and you've gone to school for this and gone to school for that. You've got these certifications, all of that. You're in this space all the time. For someone like me, I'm just trying to be intentional about my health. When I talk about my why, it's to improve the quality of my life long term. It's to be around for my wife and my kids. It's to present a balanced gospel, even so that when I'm standing up before people and I'm sharing the gospel, when they look at me, they don't see that food is my master, right? They see someone that has some level of self-control. So those are my whys. But when I look at all of this and I try to peek into this space to ask questions, there seems to be so much conflicting information, right? So you said earlier, okay, have a cheat meal. It's not going to kill you. Well, I'm like over here like, amen, like give me my cheat meal. But then you'll read some stuff and people will be like, you should not have any cheat meals ever, and da-da-da-da. You should go at least 4 months or 6 months before you. So how do we, those outsiders of us, as we're trying to get our health on track, how do we know what's right and what's wrong? And where do we look at to try to resolve the conflict of information that's out there?
There are certain things that have a definite, you need to do this, you can't do this. For example, you need to eat healthier, decline, that is, you have to do that in order to gain your goal, health-wise or aesthetic-wise. Eating more vegetables, eating more clean food. That is a must. That there's no gray area to that. We all know we have to do that. Where the gray area comes in is how much, when, and you have to find, and I found this by trial and error, simply by trial and error, what works for me. Again, what works for me, not what works for the fitness model over here, or what works for, what we saw on TV, or what this trainer is saying and what that trainer is saying. You know what? You see this information, give it a try. Try it for a little bit. Does it work? Is it something that you can do for the rest of your life? Not momentarily. Because when you're talking about health, and in your case, health is so important. You want this to be long-term. You're doing this for the rest of your life. You're not doing this for 2 months, for 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm not trying to enter a bodybuilding competition. Yeah,
you're not, again, I had a conversation. It was the most interesting conversation with an Uber driver. And he was, I'm working out like this. And I read in, bodybuilding magazine, this and that. And yes, he was overweight. And I said to him, I'm like, are you going to enter a bodybuilding competition? And he said, well, no. And I was like, okay, what's more important? What's more important? Are you looking at, what are your goals? Again, he wasn't clear about his goals. He's seeing these bodybuilding magazines. He loves the workouts, which is great. Keep doing those workouts. But what's more important? Health. Well, he said, in bodybuilding magazines, they said, they don't do a lot of cardio and they don't do this. And I said, okay, but cardio is absolutely necessary for long-term health. So we need to do the cardio. And that's when I posed the question of, do you want, is this your goal? Are you going to be a bodybuilder? And he said, well, no. And I said, okay, well, we need to, and I'm sorry, I was giving out free advice to him, but he loved it. He said, thank you at the end. But yes, get on that cardio machine. We need that. We need that for our heart. We need that long-term. So again, find what works for you. So once you find your goal and your specific goal, then you work with it. And then you find things, you try things out. Maybe, like you said, you were on the Stepmaster. Some people will absolutely hate the step machine. I love it personally, but maybe somebody else would take more to the treadmill or more to find different ways of accomplishing the same thing.
So it's not cookie cutter is what you're saying.
It's not cookie cutter. And that's what people try to stick to, a cookie cutter diet or a cookie cutter workout. It's not. You're a unique individual with unique needs.
Yeah.
So you need a unique program that's tailored to you.
Yeah. Like this one guy told me, man, if you're going to be fit, you absolutely unequivocally have to do the bike. And so I started trying to do the bike, and I'm just like, I'm not a bike guy. I'll ride the bike outside, but the bikes that's in the gym, I hate them with a passion. I don't want to get on the bikes at all, but I will do the elliptical. I will do the treadmill. I'll even do the row machine. I love the row machine. And I'll do the Stairmaster, but I'm like, I'm not getting on that bike. Y'all can have that spin class, because I ain't doing it.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I'm the same way with the treadmill. I can run outside by getting on the treadmill to run. What I actually do as a hack for myself is I do sprints every so often to keep me going, because it's too autonomous for me, and I can't, just keep going and going.
So I've heard you say this 3 times in part 1, well, a couple times in part 1, and then I've heard you say it a couple times here in part 2 of this interview, this conversation. You've used the word hack. And I know our time is sort of wrapping up here, but tell me what that is. Tell me what that means when you say that.
When I say a hack, I mean just kind of a little bit of a shortcut, something that works for me. You have all these videos of life hacks, hey, you could do this easier. This is my easier version of these things. This is my way of getting through these obstacles. So find life hacks for you. Find things that you can now, I don't enjoy the treadmill, but let's say it's something I have to do because, let's say I live in Chicago and it's snowing. It's kind of hard to run outside, not saying you can't, but so I need to get on the treadmill. how am I going to get through this? Is it different kind of music? Let me try a different kind of music. Let me try walking for a minute, running for 3 minutes. Oh, wow, look, it's 45 minutes later. I've done it. You know, the 1 to 3 ratio, just finding that. And again, I'm going to use the word hack. Find that thing for you. And it may not work for the next person, but it works for you. And you're getting through your time.
You're tweaking things. You're constantly tweaking things.
Exactly. Yes. But again, trial and error, and don't be afraid to find something you don't like. You find something you don't like, change it up.
Yeah.
Change it up a little bit. It may be something as minuscule as, again, changing the kind of music you're listening to while you're working out.
Yeah.
What if that is, and you're sitting there like, oh, wow, that makes a huge difference. But had I not tried it out, I would just been like, this isn't for me. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. So listen, guys, this has been an absolutely incredible conversation that I've been having with my great friend, Emmy. Emmy is in LA and has for the last number of years, 2-3 years or so, been all in, fully invested in personal training, getting people's lives on track with health. And I think amongst all the things, and you need to go watch the whole interview, but amongst all the things that I think would be a great takeaway today, Emmy, that I believe that you shared, is just be intentional. Be intentional about your health. Be intentional about, if you're going to have a cheat meal, be intentional with your cheat meal, and then go back and get back on track. So we've got to close. Our time is leaving us here, and well, really it's gone. But what's the one thing that you want to leave people with, or the last piece of wisdom that you want to share today? And then, you know, tell people about your services, or tell people what's the way that they got a question that they want to follow up with you with. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah. So one thing that I have to leave you with is, again, your mindset. Your mind is very important. When you quit in an exercise and you say, I can't, or even in life, it's your mind telling you that. It's not your body telling you that. So we have to work on the mind, trying to stay positive, looking at difficult situations in more as a hurdle and less as a stop sign. Even in fitness, and I can relate this to fitness because this is my kind of my forte. But you know, when you're in an exercise and you're like, I can't do this. No, find a different way of doing it. Look at it as a hurdle. Like, I just need to find, I'm either gonna, walk around the hurdle, go over the hurdle, or under the hurdle, but I'm getting through this hurdle. I'm not stopping and turning around.
Wow.
Right. So if you can apply that to everyday life, which I try to as well. And then also in your health and your fitness, you may have a lot of, when it comes to health, you may have a lot of hurdles come at you. Find a way around them, find a way over them, find a way under them, just get through them. And in order to get in touch with me, I'm on Instagram, EmmyFit5. I'm on Facebook, which I'm trying to build. This is all a little bit new for me, but building on my Facebook, I want to build a positive environment. Getting articles up there that I deem are really interesting and that everyone would love to see. And then also posting some of my workouts, some of my kind of breakfast, things that are easy to make. The key for me when it comes to cooking, because I don't have a lot of time, is making it easy to make, but yet it's healthy and satisfying, that it tastes good. That's important. Facebook, it's actually EmmyFit5.0. Somebody had taken the other handle. I can't find who it is. But anyways, EmmyFit5.0 on Facebook, and EmmyFit5 on Instagram. And I would love to hear from you guys.
Awesome. Well, Emmy, thank you so much. Listen, guys, I've been saying it. It's in the book. It's all over my social media. It's part of my platform. God has a purpose for your life, and it's up to us to do the work, to prepare ourselves, increase our capacity to accomplish that work and accomplish that purpose. And in this case, as we've been talking about health and fitness today and this week, really, even with some of the other interviews that I've done, the purpose that God has for you, while you're on your way there, you got to take your body with you. And so since you got to take your body with you, you might as well make sure that your body is healthy. So listen, we've been talking about temporary assignments. It's everywhere that books are sold. It's available. It's chock full of wisdom and full of insight on how to reinvent your life, how to engage in transitions in your life. And all of us are in transition, some way, shape, or form. And if you're going to be in transition, you might as well do it in a wise way. So you got to go get the book, Temporary Assignments. It'll be a blessing to you. Emmy, thank you for being on today. We look forward to talking to you some other time.
Yes.
Peace, everybody.
Okay.
You can have a goal or a desire or a plan, but it requires some work.